Silent Hill 2 Remake is one of the most terrifying games I've ever played. Not because it's outright scary, but because of its subtext, environment, and chilling implications. The game has this way of making you feel uneasy with everything, from the eerie vibe of Toluca Prison to the ambiguous trophy names like Enjoy Your Stay and No Turning Back Now. They feel like lines ripped straight out of bad horror movies, except, here, they work. The horror isn't just in the jump scares, it's everywhere. Random photos you find, psychotic memos, and subtle details all scratch the walls of depression in the human psyche. If you dig into Reddit or YouTube lore deep enough, you'll see how truly messed up it all is. One of the most disturbing aspects of this game is the main character himself, James. He barely seems to react or care about every nightmarish atrocity going on around him. I read an explanation online that it's supposed to feel like James is having a waking nightmare, and he's aware of it all. And I think that description perfectly captures the mood of playing through this game. James is a terrifying character on his own because he knows he's awake, and he just progresses through the game like everything that's happening is an inconvenience, not a threat. The man will jump through random holes and place his hand through gutters for seemingly no reason. He'll jump into pitch black holes just because he's too stubborn to turn back. He's an interesting character in his own right, and he does it all for his supposed love of his dead wife. I won't spoil too much from this point, but just know James himself adds to the eerie, depressing aura that surrounds Silent Hill. With that being said, let's get this one out of the way. Silent Hill 2 is not a hard game. I played on medium combat and hard puzzle difficulty, and while some puzzles forced me to grab a notepad, they were never impossible, just brain power heavy. Combat is straightforward. Dodge, attack, dodge, attack. Do not forget to dodge, remember to attack. You can beat most enemies with just a pipe, though better weapons make life easier if you're smart enough to solve certain puzzles. What I love is how the game rewards exploration. Missing a key item can cost you a weapon, but that's on you for skipping puzzles. It's an interesting mechanic that adds depth without making the game punishing. Still, you can brute force your way through it if you're stubborn enough, and that does include boss fights. Boss fights, like all regular combat in Silent Hill 2 Remake, are incredibly straightforward. It's not intricate at all. Attack patterns are predictable from both standard enemies and bosses. I'm sure you've seen those posts and comments saying there's only about 3 enemy types in the game. That's really not an exaggeration, and none of them offer any new mechanics. It's just a matter of timing your dodges. That's because, again, the focus isn't on combat, it's on trying to make the player cry from all the madness in Silent Hill and to make you grapple with sadness and depression. Now, let's talk about trophies. How hard is the platinum? Honestly, it's not hard, but it's definitely annoying. Take the trophy for finding all memos in one playthrough, for example, which is one of the funnest trophies in the game if you love spreadsheets. Unless you're using a guide, you're bound to miss at least one memo, which means you'll have to play the entire game all over again or know where you missed the memo and reload a save point from that moment. It's frustrating to stop playing, check a guide, and backtrack constantly just to avoid missing one thing. I mean, it's fine if you're a lore buff like me. I get to read all the memos in one playthrough without having to Google it and get hit by pointless spam. But doesn't mean I don't hate trophies like these. Like all PS5 games and achievement systems, the trophy list includes trophies that make almost no sense, and I wouldn't have figured out they were trophy requirements if I didn't Google it. I think this one deserves an honorable mention. It's called the Scourge of Toluca Lake. After you kill Eddie, you're supposed to row your boat gently down the stream until you reach the next zone of the game. It's literally a rowboat simulator. I'm barely kidding. To get the trophy, you have to go AFK while in the lake for 10 minutes, and that's it. The idea here is that James is supposed to reflect on the fact that he just took a human life, which is the trophy description you get for killing Eddie. The lore master in me sees this trophy requirement as an immersive experience, while the gamer in me finds it redundant. Take it how you will. Silent Hill 2 is one of those games that has multiple endings, and it's up to you to figure out which endings are the real one, which is a stupid question because the first ending I got, the leave ending, is the real one. The point is, as you would expect, you need to unlock almost all endings in the game to get all trophies in the game, which adds to the grind. I hate trophies that force you to grind. I said almost all endings because some of the endings are excluded from the trophy list. You can cheat the system by saving in certain spots, but you still have to look at guides, and I don't mind using brain power for puzzles, but I do for figuring out save file slates. and making sure I don't go past the point of no return. It's redundant. Luckily, it's not the biggest hassle in the world, and if it's the biggest grief you have with trophy hunting in this game, I'll take it, but looking between your computer screen and TV to make sure you follow a guide step by step can get annoying fast. Other than that, the game has a few miscellaneous trophies here and there, as you would expect from all PS5 trophies. There's one for looking at bread, one for discovering the secret of room 106. I had to Google that one because I didn't get it, and it turns out it was a Silent Hill 3 reference. It's a nice nod. There's a trophy for failing to open doors 50 times, which is funny because I'm pretty sure I was closer to failing 500 times than I was to 50. Overall, Silent Hill 2 Remake is packed with content, subtle details, and enough psychological horror to leave you thinking long after the credits roll. If you're a lore buff, you'll love uncovering everything. If you're a trophy hunter, prepare for a short grind that feels long due to multiple endings. However, the game itself and the platinum trophy for this one isn't overwhelmingly difficult. Either way, it's a fantastic game and I highly recommend it. Silent Hill 2 Remake is a masterpiece of subtle horror, and whenever you're here for the scares or the trophies, it's well worth it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.